Now, I'm going to set aside all four of my Ryan Gosling movies off to the side and go straight to number 10, starting with 12 Years a Slave. Now, strangely enough, this is a movie I will probably never watch again, but I understand the importance, the significance of it. It's a very hard movie to watch. You are enraged by it, and it's done like in the best way to where it's not like they're doing it like in a low effort. They go in depth in it. It is hard to watch. It's based off a real story, and it's quite sad how that guy life eventually turns out. Not a feel good movie, no, but eventually how he basically becomes free is like, oh, if you just stick with it, it is worth it. Now, next up, Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, starring Frances McDormand, Woody Harrelson, and Sam Rockwell. I think each of their performances were nominated for an Oscar. Um, I know I'm saying these are hiccups, but I'm kind of convinced these is probably Tourette's. Like I got cursed or something. The movie is about Frances's character, who plays as a severely grieving mother that lost her daughter. Practically, she was murdered, and she felt like nothing's being done about it. So she ends up buying these three billboards, placing a message on each one, trying to get the attention or trying to find some way to find the killer, get justice, and all the meanwhile, everybody else is going through their own turmoils. Everybody's flawed. You do kind of sort of see the worst in everybody, and it does show what anger can do to you, and if you allow it. And that idea is contemplated at the ending, where it kind of gets you thinking about what the film is actually about. But really powerful movie. It is rated R, a lot of language. If you get through that, you'll definitely get something out of it. Now, next up is the last foreign language film I have on this list, The Hunt, starring Mads Mikkelsen. I'm pretty sure he was in the Doctor Strange movie as like the main villain of that movie. The film is about a man that is going through a divorce and he's trying to get custody of his son, and look like it's going smoothly. And he's also a elementary school teacher, and he has a great relationship with the town. Everybody loves him, the student loves him, but one girl in particular has a crush on him. But after he makes it clear like that's wrong, she ends up telling a lie about the man, and it turns into one of the biggest mind-blowing witch hunt about a man that's life essentially is ruined based off of a little white lie. That completely turns his life upside down, as the town is now acting towards him oppositely of what we first see how he's like well loved in the town. Now essentially everybody hates him, and growing resentment even towards his son. So pretty much a very powerful movie about how a little lie can just ruin any man's life, follow them for the rest of their life, even if they've been found to be innocent. And man, this movie scares me because it's kind of like super realistic in how it portrays that. Like, you can be so good, but what if something can just come by and just bite you in the butt and ruin it? Next up, The Phantom Menace. You know what? This movie gets a lot of crap. You know, Star Wars fans, they always say The Phantom Menace is the worst one. And I'm just going to go ahead straight up and say, I'm not going to like jump the bandwagon and say this movie sucks, because that's just not who I am. I'm a peaceful man. I think movies are great. Even if a film is bad, there's effort put into it. Come on, guys. Give The Phantom Menace a break. Leave Jake Lloyd alone. Give that guy that plays Jar Jar Binks a break. Why did you guys have to go make George Lucas sell off Star Wars because you guys hate The Phantom Menace? Come on, guys. That's not nice. Oh, wait, this ain't Phantom Menace. So Phantom Thread is basically Daniel Day-Lewis's last performance as this dressmaker who, in the 1950s, goes through a series of muses, kicking them out, giving them dresses. Everybody respects him as a dressmaker. Then eventually he meets his match at a restaurant where this waitress is serving him breakfast, and he's seeing if she's a good fit for him by giving her a list of stuff to remember. And if she can't remember it, that means that, okay, maybe she can be my next muse and she can like have the attention to detail that I need. along with help me make my outfits. This is a original movie, not based off of anything, directed by the guy that made There Will Be Blood, Paul Thomas Anderson. So obviously you know what you're getting into. Unconventional movie. I'm not going to spoil it, but this is a great, wonderful movie. It actually has quite a bit of rewatchability to it. It's kind of like a disturbing fairy tale, as he talks about to his co-star that's played by Vicky Krieps, a fairly unknown actor, but she's definitely good in this. Actually, she's pretty good in this movie. They're both phenomenal. He is definitely the definition of an artist, and also the pretentious side of an artist. Despite the fact he's actually good at what he's doing, making dresses, he has like all these rules, these rituals, all these routines he does. And if, like for example, like during the breakfast scene, if anybody makes a noise, it'll just completely ruin his day. It just has to be complete silence. And the editing, how they up the ante with the audio, like such as spreading butter, it sounds like two rocks scraping together, and it's supposed to insinuate his annoyance that there is no silence when he's eating this breakfast. And there was also kind of a comedic, there's also kind of like an underlying comedic tone to this movie, because it's like how he acts, or kind of like how it shows like what artists think they can get away with, and looks childish to us, the audience. So there is humor in this movie. You just kind of gotta look for it, but it is a really good movie. And if it is Daniel Day-Lewis's last performance, he went out with a bang. Now, next up, Mommy. This is actually the last foreign language movie in this whole entire video, and I've actually watched this last night because this is a movie I wanted to see for a while. Finally bought it. Stayed up pretty late. I had to work the following morning, but it was worth it. This movie is phenomenal. It is basically about a certain future where, in Canada, take your children if they're misbehaving and put them into like a facility so they can like manage their behaviors. And no lawsuit, no nothing. You can just put them there against the child's own will, as long as you sign a form. Even though I've just seen the movie recently, I'm still trying to understand it, but essentially this mother who had her son sent to this facility, I guess the institution itself didn't want him, so they just kind of just gave him back to her. And they're both in a way really kind of like not right up there in the head, and he kind of makes situations worse for her. Oh no, it's 10:30. And at the same time, making her life a living hell. But she's not necessarily making the smartest of choices either. And kind of like with Baby Driver, the soundtrack also elevates the movie, where the songs fit perfectly. More impressive with this film, in my opinion, that each song was a killer. Well, not like songs like singing, just instrumentals. That's son and mother for you. A strange relationship.